All right, we are recording. Today is May 9th, 2017, and today we're going to be talking a lot about how to have an effective demo. The last two training calls were on team building, which is really first and foremost the most effective way to run your business is to build a team because it makes the most out of the time and effort you're putting in here at WildTree. And the second thing we talked about on one of our training calls was how to get the most bookings and to be an effective hostess coach and get a full calendar, because that's the best way to share WildTree with our community and with people nationwide. And the third thing we're going to be talking about in the final rep training call in this series is going to be effective demo, what you do at a party. So I'm going to take everybody through that right now. And it's really, really important to have an effective demo. And I think that a lot of reps get their head starts to spin around that. They are a little unsure of what to say, or they're unsure of what to bring. You need to kind of know everything from start to finish of what your role and job is at your events. So first of all, let's talk about not first of all, I don't know, the order I'm going to go in is kind of like food wise, and then I'm going to talk about like stuff you bring, everything that you bring in a bag, and paperwork and that kind of thing. So first of all, you want to make your job always look super easy, because it's an easy business. It's mealtime solutions. Everybody eats. The whole idea around WildTree is pretty obvious and simple. So you don't want to do anything that makes you look overcomplicated or undercomplicated either. You never want to go to a party and just stand in the corner and be dull either. So there's this fine line of being too complicated and undercomplicated. So let's start with food. So when it comes to food at a workshop, you don't want to worry about having a giant spread for everybody, because that gets a little bit too chaotic for your hostess, and it gets a little too chaotic for yourself. So I really like to focus on food that you can get for free. So most of what I bring to a party are things that I'm getting for free, because I don't want to spend a lot of money. I also don't want to do all of the food for my hostess. When a hostess says she's having a party, they understand that they are having a party. They are expected to provide food and beverages. You don't ever have girlfriends over to your house and just say, hey, bring a cooler of food so you can eat. If you're hosting a party, everybody knows that they need to tidy up their house and they need to provide some food and beverages. So asking your hostess to provide some of the grocery items so that you can serve some WildTree food while you're there is not asking too much of your hostess. I really like to make things simple on my hostess, though. So the system I've come up with that works best is providing food at a party that is focused around mealtime solutions and some of WildTree's biggest hits. So I have a standard menu that I like to bring to my events, whether it's a workshop or a tasting. And all my parties now are combination parties anyway, so I'm not just having a tasting party or a workshop. It's all a combination of the both. So I sort of stick with the same menu for every party that I have. I always like to have my hostess boil 1 box of pasta for 2 types of pasta dishes, because again, that's focused on a meal, and it's a super cheap meal that you can have at a party. I do the Alfredo sauce because that's free. I can use my business bucks with that I get each month, and I can get sample packets of that. I can whip that up at home in less than 30 seconds and just throw it in a Tupperware and throw it in my bag to go to the party. I like to use the basil pesto sauce. I get that for free by hosting my own events. I stock up on basil pesto sauces so I can dump that on when I get to the party, and it's super easy. And then I like to do the guacamole seasoning. My hostess just has to mash up 2 avocados and put them in a bowl and have some chips. And then I like to do the cream cheese, block of cream cheese in any one of our jams. Doesn't matter, and some crackers. So it doesn't matter what kind of jam. but I like to get that for free by hosting my own events as well. I've recently been also having my hostess slice up a cucumber, and when I get there, I can put one of the seasonings from the Best of Wild Tree 8-pack, because that's such a great mealtime solution set that already comes with 8 recipes, and as long as they buy an oil to go along with that, it's endless meals for their family. So I really like to showcase that with cucumbers. The cucumbers are super healthy, they're super easy, and you can really taste every flavor that you put on the cucumber. So that is what I do for every single one of my parties. My hostess gets an email that lets them know exactly what needs to be purchased and put out at the party, so that when I get to the party in like 30 seconds, I can literally throw all of my Wild Tree on top of all 4 of those dishes, and we are rolling. We're ready to go. So that it makes it super easy for me and super easy for my hostess. My hostesses love that because they don't have to come up with a menu. You don't have to think, oh man, I've got people coming over. What the heck am I going to feed them? I don't know. Some of my hostesses have some favorites that they do want to serve, and my favorites might not be their favorites. So some of my hostesses, I know Danielle was one of my hostesses, and she really wanted to serve the s'mores blend, and s'mores mousse blend or whatever it's called, and she really wanted her guests to taste it, and it was a big hit. Everybody really loved it and wanted to buy it. So I always encourage my hostesses, if they do have a favorite, they are more than welcome to go ahead and make that. But the rest of that is just my kind of gold standard for every single party. It's also really duplicatable for myself, because I'm not coming up with something brand new for every single party. And my favorites that I just explained to you may not be your exact favorites that you want to showcase at your parties, but whatever you do, figure out the way you can do it for the most effective price for yourself, using those samples that you can get for business bucks, or if you like to host regularly, getting things that you can get for free by hosting your own parties and sort of having on hand to showcase at each event. By having a standard and a system, then you're not going to get flustered. You're going to be able to roll, get right out the door and know exactly what you need and not have to go, wait, what did I tell that hostess I was bringing? You kind of have it in your head, and then you're ready to go. So that's the system I use for bringing food to a party and making it super easy on me and my hostess. And don't be apologetic. Never in this business do you need to be apologetic. Your hostess decided that she was going to host. They know that it's going to take a little tidying up and some wiping down of counters and getting some drinks out for everybody. They're happy to do that. I think that's just a given when you say you're going to have a party. So don't be apologetic. They're excited to have everyone over. When you're coming up with food that you want to bring to your party, don't be really think about your bottom line. So the reason I came up with the menu I came up with, we at Wild Tree are centered around mealtime solutions. We are not a dip company. We are not just a quick appetizer company. So I am not one for really putting out like a sauce bar or oil bar and letting people just dip all kinds of oils and things like that. That might be good for more of a launch when you want to really showcase lots of different flavors. But for all of your events, you really want to be mealtime solution oriented and really focus on different ways to help people with their basic needs of getting dinner to the table quickly and efficiently. So when it comes to what I bring to a party, I like to make sure I can fit everything into 2 bags, no more than 2 bags. A lot of people in Wild Tree really suggest you getting everything into 1 bag. I personally have got it down to a great system for myself where I can put 2 bags over my shoulder. I'm going to show you those bags right now so that you can see what I do. So one of my bags is a Wild Tree bag that some of us got at conference a couple years ago, and it's kind of like a 31 bag. It's nice. This is the bag that I actually put my product in. I do not recommend bringing a ton of product to your events, but I do recommend bringing something from some things from the fast category. some things from the Make Fresh Dinner menu that Wild Tree has each month. So I like to pre-purchase that for the next month so I can showcase that at my parties, because that's where people are going to get a free product. They're going to get 8 recipes. They're going to see a different way to menu plan with Wild Tree, so that's super effective. And then I like to bring the Best of Wild Tree 8-pack, which I've got in here. So I really like to showcase that. Again, it comes with recipes right inside, and I can use that for my cucumber, little samples with my cucumber. So that's all I bring. And so you can see in here, I've got my taco seasoning because everybody goes gaga over it. My Alfredo, because I do like to sample that. The kids' cheese blend. I like to also bring everything in a large size because it just helps with showcasing something that for a better value for our customers. These are definitely a better value than the small sizes. So I just like to have those things out. And then again, you can see in here, I've got the May Make Fresh Dinner bundle in here, and I'm ready to go. So that's really going to end up being my display at my parties, and shows them all the different categories: Make Fresh, Make Fast, and then obviously the frozen is the Freezer Meal Workshop kit. In my other bag, it's a little bit bigger. I do have a 31 bag. I'm by no means telling you to go out and buy anything from 31. That's totally up to you. I'm just showing you what I do, just as long as you have 1 or 2 bags, and that's the bottom line. So in that bag, I've got my catalogs. So you always need to bring catalogs. I could literally roll out the door, by the way, like right now and go do a party because my bag is always filled. So I've got my catalogs. I've got my customer care forms in here. I'm digging through. Customer care forms are in here. My order forms are in here. So those are ready to go. I've got some scissors in here. I really feel like those can be really handy at a workshop, cutting jar and sauces open, and some of those little packets that come in the freezer meal kit. So I've got those. Always got my bag of pens ready to go so that I can have pens and Sharpies ready to go. Sometimes those are handy. And then all of you probably know that I like to use these bag holders. These are incredibly optional. They're awesome. I personally like them. I use them to meal prep at home myself. So it was a super smart investment for me personally. But that is nothing that you have to run out and buy on Amazon. They're about $4 each on Amazon, so they aren't very expensive. But you guys, for the first 2 years here doing freezer meal workshops, I used nothing. Everybody just did their bags at their seat. It's not that big a deal. The only reason I did switch to these was because at a few of my parties, I had some major accidents and spills and stuff was going everywhere. And I just kind of felt like, I'm going to be doing, 6 parties a month. Those accidents might become more regular. So this was just a solution for me, but that is nothing that you need to do. It's just an option. And again, it fits in my bag, so I'm not taking a lot of space or making my job look hard. And a lot of people think they're fun. I also sell them at my workshop, so I bring extras to sell, and I upcharge. I do $5 for those. So then I also like to bring a couple of extra measuring spoons and cups. I only bring a small little extra set of these. My customers are super good about coming with their own because I remind them of that the day before the party. So rarely do I ever even need these, but it's good just to have on hand for that person who goes, oh shoot, I totally forgot, and my hostess doesn't have any extra. And then what else fits in my bag is a folder with all of my page protected sheets, which I'm going to get to this in more detail in a second, but that is in my bag, and my booking box. So my booking box looks like this. It is so not like Pinterest worthy or anything. I don't spend a lot of time on foo-foo fruits and stuff like that. But in my booking box, I really like to have skillet meals. We highlight so many fast options at our parties, and the skillet meals are such big hits with people, and we talk about it. My hostess always raves about them. I rave about them. Other guests at parties rave about them. So since they're so talked about at my parties, I've moved to these. I have a whole variety in my box. So I actually need to fill my box. I'm only down to 2 in here, but I've always got these on hand. I get them for free by hosting my own parties. People love free. They love to get to walk away with something tangible. It does hold people accountable to book with you. Have I had some people just get away with these and then end up canceling a party? Yes, that's probably happened 2 times in the last 3 years or so. So I really like these. I also like them because they're lightweight. I don't want to be lugging something in like, lugging my bags in like it's the hardest thing in the world. I always have husbands always saying, oh, can I help you get to your car? And I'm like, no, I got this. All this stuff just fits over my shoulder. I'm just going to go. It's easy. So easy. So these are super lightweight. So I really like it like that. I also like that I don't have to like wrap these up with any kind of ribbon or anything. I can just literally throw them into a box. I have my dates on here, so I know when I'm available. I only put the dates I'm available. It just makes it really organized and easy for me. Again, I want this to be duplicatable for you, and I want it to be really easy for everybody at the party as well. So those are my 2 bags. I also like to I do bring this just in case. It's my little jam box. I really think it's important to play music at your parties. So most of the time my hostess has some kind of sound system or some kind of box in her own house that we can just get the music going anyway. But just in case, I bring my own. That way it just connects to Wi-Fi and I can play a little bit of music. Music just makes it fun. Everybody likes to cook to music. I think it lightens the mood. Everything doesn't seem so quiet when the first guests are arriving. And I'm all about the fun factor. I think my job is a blast, and music just makes it more fun. It puts me in a good mood. It puts everybody else in a good mood. I just play, whatever my host wants of today's hits, just something lighthearted and stuff like that. So that is what I bring to a party. So that's really important to know. So that's my food. That's my stuff that I bring to a party. Now let's get into a little bit of the meat of your demo. So let's say everybody arrives to the party and everybody's ready to go. Make sure when your guests arrive that you aren't flustered. You don't want to be still making that final dip, and you don't want to be stuck, managing paperwork or anything like that when everybody's arriving. You want to be very available to the guests that arrive and welcoming, giving those first guests a hug if you're a huggy type person, or a handshake or a big smile, asking them what they want to drink. Really just putting in the fun factor and making everybody feel very welcome. I get to my party about 25 minutes early, which gives me plenty of time to get things set up. For me, what I personally have my hostess do, I ship all my kits to my hostess's house. She just has to check on the kits and make sure nothing's broken. When I get there, I set all the boxes out in the spaces provided, and I put everybody's name on the box if they ordered a kit. If they didn't order a kit, then they're just coming to show up and have food, and that's fine too. I don't put their name anywhere. But the people who are workshopping, they get their name written on their kit, so they know exactly where to put their cooler when they walk in the door. It makes it really, really nice. Before everybody gets there, I take out the paperwork. So as you all know, all of our kits come with some paperwork. I take out the paperwork and only keep the bag labels and the workstation recipes inside the box, and I pull out the rest of their hard copy recipes. I put that over in my checkout station. I do that for 2 reasons. One, I don't want them to get dirty. You know how messy workshops can get. So I don't want them to get dirty. And I really want them to have a reason to come see me after the party. And so we can have a conversation about how I can most effectively help them in the future. So that just gives them a reason to come to me at the end of the workshop to get their catalog, get their paperwork, and fill out their customer care form. So that's super important to note if you're taking notes. That really only takes a quick second. Once everybody's in their spots and we're ready to rock and roll, I do introductions. So that is the first thing, that is the way I start my demo. I first have my hostess share how we met, why she decided to have the party, how excited she is about the meals and having everyone over. And then I start having the guests share. I share who they are, so they need to say their name again. Again, that helps me remember who everybody is. Everybody knows everybody. How they know the hostess and something sweet or sassy about the hostess. That's kind of fun because then I get to know the hostess's little life a little bit better. I feel like everybody gets to laugh and hear stories from the past, or I get to hear the connection. Are they a coworker? Do they know each other well? Do they not really know each other at all? It's really kind of fun just to kind of see how everyone's connected and share fun stories. Again, I'm all about the fun factor at my parties because I like to make my job fun. I also think it makes the hostess feel really good because they hear things that maybe they didn't really know the other person was thinking about them. And who doesn't like to hear praise and affirmation? I think that's amazing. So it's a great way to get the party started. I also like to ask them, if they're all going home with their 10 meals, and they're probably excited about that, but what else are they most excited about for being at the party? That really helps me glean information from them about what needs they really might need going forward. I get all kinds of answers like, oh, I'm just so excited because I am in such a rut at home. I need a million new ideas. We are sick of the 5 things that I've been making. Or I get the answer like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I suck at cooking, and maybe this will make me look like a Betty Crocker at home. So I'm so excited about that. Or I just really came to get out of my house because my family's driving me crazy and I wanted to come for the wine. So if that means I'm making meals, so be it. So you hear all kinds of answers. It helps you get to know your customers a little bit better. And it helps me just remember some things about each person. So, and it's super fun to hear all the different answers. So that is super important if you're taking notes, to say those 3 things. The next thing you want to say is, or the next thing I do is I introduce myself. It gives me a chance to say how I got started with Wild Tree, and just a quick little story about how awesome this business has been for me and my family, and how it's set us into financial freedom. That I really didn't expect that when I started at Wild Tree, but it's really allowed me to stay home with my children instead of going back to my full-time teaching job. So that's a good chance for you to plug just a quick little story about yourself. And then I like to tell people this. This is super important to say if you're also taking notes. I like to tell people, the truth is that all of you are here to make your meals, but nobody in this room was going to starve if they didn't come to the party. You all could have chosen to do Stouffer's, lasagna, gone back to ordering a pizza every night, called La Rosa's or put in a frozen pizza. No one here was going to starve without coming to Wild Tree. But what I really hope you get out of this tonight is the chance to feel really good about what you're feeding your family, to really help you shake up that rut at home, and to really kind of make you feel like, yeah, I'm a rock star. I've got 10 meals already done and ready to go for my family, and I'm a pretty awesome mom for that. So that's what I really want you to have, and I really want you to have that peace of mind that comes from being here and being super productive with your girlfriends. So it's important to let them know that. I mean, we're under no illusion that they were like all sitting at home starving without me. Like everybody, the world was going to go on if they didn't come to my party. But I want Wild Tree to give them a newfound peace of mind, a new system for getting meals to their table on a regular basis. Because that's the feeling that I have, and I want to share that with more people. I haven't thought about dinner in 5 years. That is unbelievable. So I really want to pass that along. I also like to include when I'm introducing, or kind of it's my turn to talk, is that these meals aren't going to last. They aren't going to last a lifetime. Unfortunately, everybody eats every single night for 365 days a year. So these meals are going to last about 3 weeks, and 8 out of 10 of the people at the party are going to want to walk away with more meals. So yeah, 8 out of 10 of you are going to want to walk away with more meals. And we have 2 options for getting more meals to you. Option number 1 is you can take a look at the list of freezer meal workshops that we offer, and you can walk out with a brand new kit tonight. We can put that on your order form. We'll have it shipped right to your house. You're going to get all the instructions, and before you even run out of your 10 dinners, you're already going to have a plan in place for making your next batch of meals. A lot of my customers love to do that. They love to be reassured that they're going to have another batch of meals, so you can do that tonight. The second option we have for you is to get really social. This is for the person who loves to have fun, wants to have accountability for getting their next batch of meals done. That's a big reason why people decide to put meals together socially. And we want you to compare notes with me and get your meals for free. So a lot of you may really like the free factor. If you see my booking box over here, you can get a free skillet meal tonight. And not only that, but your hostess might get something free out of you booking with us tonight as well. So if that sounds good to you, if social is your kind of idea for getting more meals, then let's talk at the end of the night. So you really want to plant the seed for getting more bookings and why they might want to do that. But you also want to plant the seed for upselling to your customers as well. You know, I hate when my customers run out of dinners and then they go back to their La Rosa's, Stouffer's, lasagna routine. I really genuinely want them to pick up another kit so that they can feel like me and never have to worry about dinner again. So it's good for you and it's good for them is what I'm getting at. So that's also a good way to showcase your booking basket at that point, or your booking box like I have. I like the box because it fits in my bag better than a basket. I don't want to carry bags and a basket. So everything has to fit in your bag. So you have to figure that out for yourself. Does that make sense? Any questions since I've got Danielle and Abby on?
Nope. I use a little wire basket. I mean, it's a little tiny, so it fits down in my bag too. And I clip the dates on with little Post-its with a clothespin on the outside. And that's super easy just to stick in the bag too. And you can find those at the dollar bin at Target. So just if they don't have a box, that's another easy idea.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. As long as whatever you're bringing fits in your bag and looks cute to you, then do it. I'm not a cutesy person, but Abby is. So, all right. So moving on to customer care forms. So once everybody's doing their meals, or no, actually, no. I'm not moving on to customer care forms. I'm going to back the truck up a bit. So after I've done my introduction, I've told them ways to get more meals, and I've shared a little bit about myself. Then I like to point out my page-protected sheets. Everybody gets these, and I'm going to try my hardest to post these to the tribe somewhere so that everybody has the exact documents that I use should you want them. But I found these to be the most effective recently. So the first sheet is my outline. A lot of people in Wild Tree call this a placemat because some people literally only use this sheet and they don't bring anything else with them for their customers at the workshop. I am such a visual learner, so I like having my 3 pages, but some people just bring this one sheet. Totally your call, but I'm going to show you what I do. So I love this placemat. I've just started using this in the last month or so. I like this because if you're brand new here, this is literally all you have to talk about at your party. It's use, share, grow. And it has every single thing that you need to showcase and highlight at your parties and in your demo. So obviously you're not going to want to read this word for word, but it really keeps you in line, and it's like your little checklist of what you need to make sure you go over when you're in front of everybody at your parties. So I like that. It does highlight that we are an organic food company, no GMOs, no junk. It highlights the dinner time solutions, the 3 things we have, which is fast, frozen, and fresh. So that's highlighted there. Talks about how to share Wild Tree by gathering your friends or sharing with your coworkers at work, or having, passing a catalog around, or, basically gives them all ideas on ways to just share Wild Tree in their community, and then how to grow Wild Tree. That would be joining us here, joining the movement, and or referring a friend to make an income here with Wild Tree. So these are the 3 things you're going to want to talk about anyway, so they're right here in front of everyone's face. I also like to, on the back, break that down a little bit further. I like to showcase all the fast options. So again, this sheet's really nice because it's got the taco seasoning, skillet meals, and that sauce bundle that everybody goes crazy for with 9 recipes. So that's really nice because it showcases the fast options. Then I really like to really highlight the frozen options. Now the frozen options are on the outline sheet, but again, this is blown up a little bit. It's a little bit easier to read. It's a little bit more clear. So these are the options that I'm offering right now. So they can, again, check out tonight and get those, get a set, or they can be social and make another batch with their friends. Then the other sheet I like to show is their coupon. So the coupon are the Make Fresh dinner bundles. Now there's only one. This is April's. I still need to do May's. I just got back from Jamaica, so I haven't done anything in May. My first party is tonight. So that's going to have the May Make Fresh bundle, which does come with a free product, and it comes with 8 recipes. The reason I really like the new Make Fresh dinner bundles is if there are people coming to taste at the party, they can still order it without having to pre-purchase anything. So I really like to highlight that the recipes, I do bring one printed version of the recipes with me. So I print out the recipes each month. It's super cheap. I do it on black and white just so they can look at those at the party. So I do have that with me. Then after I go over the Make Fresh dinner solution for them, because again, some people like to do frozen and then they need to slip in a Make Fresh and then they need to do a fast night. So I like to highlight how they can kind of do all 3 within their routine. Then I kind of go over, I get them thinking about their routine. I really like to offer Wild Tree as a solution for their everyday life. So I let them know that I'm happy to go over a month of meals with them. I let them know that just by being at the workshop, they've got 10 nights covered for the month with a leftover night in there. So they really have about 15 nights covered with their Wild Tree meals that they're making, but they still have 15 other days that they need to feed their family. So I get them thinking about their regular routine. When do they have soccer nights? What nights are they home crazy late? What nights are they free? And they can maybe do like a Make Fresh dinner because that's a night where they can experiment with something new because nobody has any activities that night. Or what nights do they already have on the calendar that are date nights or nights that they're they already know that they're eating out. Some people have a regular routine, like you always eat out on Friday night. So I encourage them to think about that so that they can fill out their own month of meals while they're workshopping that night. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. The last page in my thing are all the reasons why they may want to join and grow with us here at Wild Tree. Again, that's on the front, but I like to just expand, and it gives me a chance to plant that seed one more time because building a team here is really important. So I like to explain all the benefits and all the reasons why they might like to join us here at Wild Tree. So that is what I bring to a workshop as far as paperwork goes. That keeps me really on track during my demo. Another thing I really like to note is that I pause in between each piece of paper. So I stop. Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, moving on. Do you have any questions? I like to get the people interacting. Sometimes I'll even stop and ask the audience questions, not my audience. I still like to feel like I'm one of the girls, but just ask, what are your favorite fast meals that you're already making at home? Or when do you eat out on a regular basis? And what do you eat when you eat out? I just like to get everybody talking and kind of get to know my group a little bit more that way. And it keeps me from rambling on and on and on. Okay, so at the end of the night, you all are going to fill out a customer care survey. I like to say that, my exact words. So when you're finished and you clean up your area, come see me. You're going to fill out a customer care form. This is going to let me know how to best follow up with you. You're going to get an order form. You're going to get a catalog, and you're going to get your clean set of recipes. So come meet me over here. Make sure you've always got like a little checkout station at the party at the house that you're at. Whether, some of my checkout stations end up being like on the stove, or sometimes in their like living room. Sometimes it's in, just a little section nook of the kitchen. This kind of depends on the setup of my hostess's house. But I want to have like a little space where they know that they can come see me and it's kind of clean and has the things that they need. So it's really important that you have every single person that you ever do a party with fill out a customer care form. These are like your gold, liquid gold, okay? These will really keep you on track for following up with your customers, and it really helps get to know where they're kind of, you're feeling them out for if they want to join Wild Tree or have a party with you, or if they have a referral for a friend who may love Wild Tree. So that's the kind of information you're gathering. And it's really important at your checkout when they bring you their sheet back that first of all, you don't ignore the fact that they've given you their sheet. You need to have a conversation with everybody, and you need to go, oh, okay, Susan, it looks like you really want to have a party. You circled a 9. Wow. Here's my booking box. Why don't you pick out a free skillet meal, and let's get out our calendars and make sure we sync up a date that works for the both of us. And we're going to book right on the spot. You're going to get some people like Becky who circle, like a 5, and they're like, well, I actually really just need to try the meals first, and I want to see if my family likes these. And, depending on if my girlfriends are kind of into it, I'll let you know. And then I just ask, okay, well, is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of weeks? And we will see what you're feeling and how your family likes the meals. I will let you know that if we do want to pick out a date now and you go home and you kind of hate the meals, which has never really happened before with anybody, but if you do end up hating them, we can always scrap the date and you can just keep your skillet meal for free anyway. So sometimes that helps, knowing that they can rearrange or they aren't set in stone. But again, some people are just like, no, I'm good. I just want to try the meals first, and that's good with me too. I'll follow up with them in a couple of weeks. Some people will circle a 0. This is where brand new reps end up being like, oh God, this person, they hated me. They don't want to do this. They didn't want to be here. And this is where new reps start to get their head spinning. You need to be completely neutral to somebody circling a 0, 1, or 2. That does not mean anything. You cannot get inside somebody's head in 30 seconds that you're with them at the party. That just means that either they didn't read the question or just not right now because they're getting their kitchen remodeled. So why are they going to have a party? There's a whole lot of reasons what that 0 means. You just need to turn the paper over and just have a conversation. So, Becky, did you have a great time tonight? Start with something positive. Are you really excited about those Hawaiian meatballs? And get them to say, yeah, oh yeah, that was great, it was fun. And say, so do you have any interest in getting social and getting another batch of meals? And they might tell you, oh no, I need to try the meals first. So that 0 really didn't mean no, not ever. It just meant no, not right now. She wants her family to try the meals. So you need to have that conversation with them, or they may say, oh, no, I really don't want to have a party right now because we're getting our entire kitchen remodeled. And it's like, oh, okay, that's why you circled a 0, because you're getting your kitchen remodeled. When you can say, hey, when that kitchen's done, we're being remodeled, wouldn't it be fun to have everybody over to make some meals and have a wild tree party, and you can show off your brand new kitchen? And typically they're like, heck yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. And we pencil in something for a couple months down the road, whenever that might be. And some people, quite frankly, and I love it when they're super honest with me, they're like, nope, I don't want to have a party at all. Not interested in hosting. I'm not hosting type. If Becky decides to have a party, I'll come to that, but I'm not really interested in hosting. And I'm like, okay, great. I will make note of that, and I really appreciate it. Let me know, though, if you'd like to add another batch of meals to your cart. You can prep meals on your own. How does that sound? So, no is not no, and no doesn't mean I don't want anything either. So that's super important to remember, that you have no idea what these numbers actually mean unless you have a conversation with that person. So you do need to try and do that when you're at your parties. I quite frankly don't look at anyone's answers. I don't care if they circled at 0 or a 10. I have the same conversation with every single person at my parties. It just keeps it super consistent and super neutral. And they hear me having the same conversations with everybody. So it's not like I'm just picking out people. Same goes for when you're talking about the business opportunity. I like to ask every single person if they have any interest in learning more about our business opportunity, whether they circled a 0 or a 10, because it's really silly to offer only 3 people in the room a cookie. I go back to that cookie analogy. You can't just offer 3 people in the room a cookie and skip the other 10 people. That's super rude, and you never know who really, really wanted that cookie. So you need to offer it to just everybody, be super neutral about it, but be excited about it as well. So what do you do with these? A lot of my brand new reps are like, okay, I've got my customer care forms. Now what? Well, it's super important to have a system for keeping track of all your paperwork. I am like a manila folder, like crazy woman here. I have a manila folder for every single hostess that I've ever had on the planet of the last 5 years. I write her name, I write the type of workshop we're having, I write the date and the time, and inside you will find all of my customer care forms and order forms, and I also write down who's coming to the workshop and what bundle they want so I can properly invoice them and all that stuff. So there's that. Wait, am I still there?
Yep.
Oh, good. Oh, that was weird. It like went away and I thought we were out of time or not. I'm like, wait, I thought we still had like 7 minutes. Okay, good. So anyways, I write all of that in here, and this is my folder. This is my folder for life. So every time I go to follow up with this batch of people, I just pull out my folder. So it keeps me super organized. It's the best system I found for me, but I am a paper person. So that's how I stay on track. And then I use that 2-2-2 follow-up system. Within 2 days of the workshop, I make sure I text everyone to tell them how nice it was to meet them with a cute little picture. I make sure I send a thank you email out. I post a picture on Facebook. You know, I like to do that within the first 2 days. Then 2 weeks later, I literally just pull out my folder, pull out the customer care forms, and I start texting or calling every single person from the workshop to see how they're liking their meals. And my text, you guys, if I don't have a day where I can actually call when my voice is out or I'm just out and about and I can't call, I still like to text. I'm really excited in my text. I'm like, oh my gosh, Susan, it was so nice to meet you. You were so much fun. How are you liking those meals? I hope they're helping you get out of your rut and they've been super easy for you. There are a couple options for getting more meals. One is to get social. One is to just use my website and order another batch of meals if that's something you think you might want to do. Just let me know. I can't wait to hear back from you. It's important to say that at the end so that they know you're waiting to hear a response back. But just sound very upbeat in your phone calls or text messages. You don't want to be super to the point. Hey, Susie, just checking in. How you liking your meals? Hope they're great. Okay, bye. You know, you don't want to be super to the point, and you don't want to sound that way in your text either. I know texts are meant to be super quick and to the point, but if you're choosing to text over call, then you better sound darn excited in your text messages so that they realize how appreciative of you are. They've spent a lot of money and time to be with you, so you need to show that gratitude back to them. So that's a way to follow up. I also follow up with the same exact group 2 months later. And how do I keep track of that? Y'all all have to have a calendar. You all have to have a WildTree planner. So I keep track of that in my notebook. Every time somebody books a party, I literally just fill in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I put that group's name in there. Allison's group, Allison's group, Allison's group. I know to find Allison's folder. I know to check in with these people. That's how I keep a full calendar. I've got a full calendar for May, June, and my July is almost full. And we're only in the beginning of May. That's because I'm so systematic about my follow-up. And it doesn't take long, you guys, especially if you text. It's like you copy and paste the same text message to every single person. So it's not long. It's not hard. As long as you're writing things down and you have a system, it's like, seriously, you guys, you should spend about 5 minutes on that a day, if that. Because you've got everything organized. Any questions, Abby or Danielle, since Abby's seasoned here and Danielle's brand new. Does that make sense and show you how easy this all really can be?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's key to have that. I didn't have a really good system for a while and I was a mess and forgetting to follow up. So I do the same thing with the calendar and the folders. These are my folders, and for me, I'm very visual. So I have 3 little stickers I put on the outside of the folder, and it says 2 day, 2 week, 2 month. So then I know those dates on there, and then I write those dates in my calendar as well. So that's just another little thing that I add on to my folder, and that helps me stay on track.
Smart.
So and when I file them, they're in wire files, wire baskets on my wall, and they're 2 day, 2 week, 2 month, and I just move them, and I can kind of see on the outside which ones I'm going to need to grab next.
Yep. And really, guys, that goes if you're having 1 party a month or you're having 8 parties a month. You want to have a system just so you don't forget that you're trying to be the best. I mean, people are spending money with you, whether they're spending money, you're only doing 1 party, you're doing 8 parties. You need to follow up with them. People want to be followed up with because WildTree is in the top of their mind all the time, and we're trying to offer them the best customer service so that they can continue to have easy and quick meals. And 2 people from your party may never care to do WildTree again, but there's another group of people that really do want more solutions with Wild Tree. And that's why that follow-up is so important. I just booked like 2 parties yesterday from texting people from my follow-ups. Like, it's just really easy. They just need to go home and try their meals rather than booking with me right on the spot. I have this on my desk. So this just sits on my desk, and it's got my file folders for this quarter. And then once those are filled, I can move them to another file folder system, like a big filing case. I've got that on my desk. And then the ones that are floating around my desk are the people that I have workshops coming up, or I've got